I've been playing around with this mimas A7 FPGA development board, and the main issue that I've encountered is if I want to load a bit stream onto this FPGA, I have to use their special bitstream loader software, which only runs on Windows, and I do most of my development from Linux. But one of the main reasons I got this is because this is a really pretty substantial size FPGA that's big enough to load a soft-core processor onto. And in order to load a soft-core processor and then run like C code on it or something, I'm gonna have to do that from Xilinx's software development kit for that. And that means I have to kind of go by their rules. So I went out and I bought a jtag programmer, which allows you to program this chip as well as do a lot of debug stuff with it. And normally if you were to buy one of these from Xilinx directly, it would cost $200 to $300. But I found a version that Digilent makes, and apparently Digilent is the only other company that Xilinx trusts to make these. So this Digilent programmer, which I got for $50-60, will also work with the Vivado software here. So let's give it a try. These new revisions are incredibly much smaller than the regular Xilinx ones. So here's what we got. Standard micro USB cable. And here's the thing that costs $60. Actually, this is just an extender. This is the thing that costs $60. There's just some chip in there that allows communication between micro USB and jtag. So right here, these 6 pins, this is the jtag port. You can see it's labeled. These are female headers, so I'm gonna have to solder some male headers on before I can attach this. Alright, well, I went ahead and soldered on the headers for the jtag, and in case anybody else struggles with this last pin here was extremely hard to solder on, and I think it's because it's a ground pin, and so it's very well heat sinked to a lot of things on the board. So before you put these header pins on, I recommend just putting the iron on that and heating it up and getting some solder onto that spot, and then it should go a lot smoother. One thing that I noticed as I checked the data sheet for this jtag connector is that this mimas A7 board has actually swapped one of the pins. They have taken VDD, which is the 3.3 volts, and moved it over here. So there's this first pin up here is VDD, and so because of that, I took a header set, shifted it down one, and then jumped that to the other side. And so now I have VDD at this end, and I'm able to plug that in. And if I go over here to the hardware manager, let me just refresh this, and you can see that I am connected to the board, and I can now hit program device, choose my bit stream. Okay, and I just created a very simple design that hooks these dip switches up to the LEDs, but you can see that indeed my bit stream has loaded onto the board through the Vivado software, and I'm even running on Linux. So this is quite exciting. I can now move forward in development with setting up a soft core processor and running Linux on this thing.